Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley, and this is the Human Potential Episode 5. Oh, I'm sorry, Human Potential Episode 7. Numbers and me are not smooth. Okay, it's Human Potential Episode 7. And so in this series, we're going to begin doing something different. We're going to start having sound alignments, and those I do in sound because it gives a little more depth and dimension for you to have something to listen to rather than have an alignment of your spiritual anatomy um, in silence. Now, what is an alignment? What is all this? You have your spiritual anatomy, and as Alania has said, and I've spoken about, and you have the human crystalline grid of tribes, nations, and soul groups. You have an interim grid, which has become very active and coming online. Some people call it the interim Christ grid or the interim soul creational grid. And then there's what people call the Christ or Master grid. And these are described as these little techie phrases, but I think they're just pools of conscious energy that are just different spaces. I don't even know, but they're palpable. They're real. You can get tap them and get flavors from them. And so some people say that your soul comes in to the planet and goes into the Christ grid and then operates out of there while you sit and have all these experiences in your multi incarnations. Now, these are sound like belief systems. They sound like I'm trying to say the way it is. I'm not. All I'm saying is that in the exploration of my spiritual anatomy and the exploration of other people's spiritual anatomy through healing, I have come to, through a lot of experiences, come to be more open to some of these concepts. And the only way you can get validation of your spiritual nature is through your own direct experience. I could sit here and tell you lots of stories, which are very cool, but you have to sort of get on your own path and find out for yourself. So what I do is I share my love for the Creator, for our divinity, for the God within, for healing, for our ability to do all that through the metaphor of the spiritual energetic anatomy, because I find it fascinating. There are people that fly in airplanes, and there's a wonderful poem that was written in the Second World War called High Flight. You can still find it out there a little bit. It's a little hard to find. I have a copy. Maybe I will post it. And give credit to the person there in the comment section. But it's about pilots often feel like they're very close to the divine up when they're up above the earth like that. Mountain climbers in the atmosphere that is so refined often feel that kind of an energy. Some people can go to the beach and feel all those electrons speeding up in the waves and the energy there, and they feel some sort of connection. I found it through the energetic spiritual anatomy and healing. So I speak of it in that way. And also through medicine. I don't see how you could study medicine and believe it's just a technological is the wrong word, but a chemical, flesh only system, that there isn't some amazing divinity behind the creation of it. That's just the way it worked for me. The more I studied it, the more I was just like, oh my gosh. And anyway, I could go on and on, but so I'm going to get out of the way. I was about to tell a story, but I'm like, nope, let's keep this short and sweet. So we're going to do, an alignment in sound, and it's we're saying that we have the higher self has soul connections at the high level of the human crystalline grid or the human consciousness grid, where all of our recordings of our tribes and nations and large group family complexes are stored, our group universal life creations. And there's a high level there which has a lot of what they call the ancestral gold and of that kind of work. And so the higher self there is getting a connection to, or an alignment to, that interim Christ grid. And these things are already there, but an alignment is like an energetic memory signature of, for the soul and the higher self and you to remember that connection, to vibrate that connection, to have some sort of conscious intention for that connection. So that's the alignment we're going to have today. So alignment is kind of like the fibers are there and we're just vibrating them. So it's always a good idea to ground yourself to the earth, align up to the cosmic, align your heart in attunement to the creative source, and say, if you should decide you want to experience this or have this alignment, you say, I would like to have this alignment. I ask my soul, my higher self, to come in and partake in this. And imagery is always great because it sends a picture to your spiritual anatomy. Your dreams work in pictures. Your body and your spirit receive that as a instruction set, and it'll move energy and do all sorts of things effortlessly. That's why I call what I call active meditation, using your mind as a builder and your spiritual and physical as through your spiritual as for the physical to be a result. Healing with your heart and mind, that your body be free of karma, whatever the phraseology is. That's why I often call it active meditation and describe it in this way. So pictures work very well because it's how your soul communicates to you. You get dreams in pictures, do you not? Okay, so I've said a lot, and I'm going to get out of the way, and let's do this sound alignment. I want to keep these short and sweet. in the last episode, episode 24, oh, I'm sorry, episode 24 of the Heart series, I was going to speak about the merge, where they merge your last incarnation, this incarnation, and the next incarnation. And you might want to listen to that so this makes sense, but that's a harmonic. It's like a second harmonic. Just in case Aliania speaks in reference to that, I wanted to throw that in there because I forgot to say it in the last. That at some point they make a connection in the heart field to all three of those incarnations so that you can heal at a higher level in the heart field and have a higher harmonic healing paradigm. Okay, that probably made no sense in context here, but if you go listen to episode 24, that will make sense. Okay, just in case, I don't know what she's going to say today. All right, view human potential. Good day to your dearest beings of light. I am Aliania of Cosmic Service, a Pleiadian Mother of Sound. This one was referencing the harmonic entrainments that we were referencing in another way of speaking about the sound alignments. And so you will have greater understanding of the sound alignments in that episode. But we will recap very quickly here. It is often recommended that you listen to them 3 times so that you have an entrainment through 3 levels of your energetic field in harmonics. And that brings that vibration up to now lower doesn't mean not as good. It simply is describing there's a lower level and a higher level of creational energies, and there are many of these. So that 3rd level harmonic brings it up to the creational level, and it vibrates the soul and higher self at the creational level. And it's like saying, yes, I want this. Yes, I am aware of this. And yes, let's have a little more soul infusion and higher self off the golden Akashic of the soul group level on the human consciousness grid. Let's have a little more of that coming through us in benevolence. And so it's like a order to your soul and your higher self at the soul group universal life level for a particular increase of a vibration that you seek. Intention, alignment, attunement, and there you go. And that was in the last video explained. All right, so in this episode of The New Connection, we would like to speak about the ability at the soul group level in the unified heart field that you all have to create profound healing and how that works. How can groups of individuals get together collectively and do profound healing work? You can do it, and we have explained this throughout the videos, but this perspective is going to be through the heart field, which we have not done. So you might hear some repetition, but you're going to hear some new information. So in the high soul, golden Akash of the ancestral level of the higher self, on the human consciousness grid, where we said that you have 3 higher self spirit bodies, one is there, one is in the interim soul creational or interim Christ grid, and one is out in the soul group field, the great field with a capital F, that we call the creational field, the soul creational field, the soul group creational field, the supreme being divine intelligence and supreme being engine and la 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 la, whatever you want to say about that, where you all collectively are enmeshed, which is actually a band around the periphery of the planet, which is well known. A Jesuit priest named Teilhard der Chardin brought in that information. He was French, you could look him up. And many have spoken about this. We could name a whole bunch of spiritual people brought in information, but we're not going to do that today. You can just look at it as the noosphere, is what Chardin called it, and other people call it the collective consciousness field. It's got many names. You can find it on the web. So in that high soul in those three areas, there's the ability to link up as soul groups out in the greater field in alignment with the Creator, Supreme Being engine of creation, which is how we describe it to you so you can have a picture of this little machinery of spiritual anatomy and evolutionary potential and divine connection. And we're going to tell a story. This one's remembering it, but it is not her memory. It is that she knows that we're going to talk about it next. I'm going to share that in a minute. So get out of the way, you over there. And so the ability to work as a group soul through the Heartfield to do profound healing work or setting vibrational intentions into some of the noosphere or collective consciousness field at certain levels there is a potential that humans can do. Now this one has been on a trip to Nepal where they went up to monasteries and they went around to monasteries in Kathmandu, and then they trekked up to in Lukala. They did a trek up the mountains and the path splits and those people go to Everest, and these people went to a monastery there, Temboche Monastery, for a festival, and she saw things there. But what she experienced was in one of the monasteries, there are groups of monks that sit there all day, and all they do, and this is their lifelong job, is chant to create a particular vibration in the astral group, soul group field for people to have as a stabilizing force for evolution. That is all they do. This one time was playing with the Om Mane Padme Hum Tibetan chant, which is a benevolent blessing to the Creator of love from the soul and the human to the Creator. And she was doing that for a while, and she was going through a little bit of a difficulty clearing something, and she started to do that. She raised up and she tapped that collective field where all those monks were, and she saw them all in the astral plane where they had put their intentions for the vibration of Om Mane Padme Hum. And such is why so many of these ancient chants, Diva Pramal and Mitten, bring a lot of these chants to the public at a high vibration. And I'm going to bring up something just for fun. This one is always felt when spiritual sound and high chanting is done, the people should not clap afterwards, because she feels this lovely vibration floating in the air. And she wants to partake in it, its sweet flavor and its essence, and go to that vibration where it might take her for the experience of it. And people there go clap, 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 clap. And she feels those sounds of the claps go and break up that chant vibration. And she's absolutely correct. And she was flabbergasted in going to New York City to the town hall there to see Diva Pramal and Mitten. And there's a bar there, and it was a kind of a mixed crowd. Some wanted to see Mitten when he used to be a rock and roller, and some were there for the spiritual. So you had some that just clapped, and she asked them not to clap. But in their cocktail defiance, they kept clapping, because they're New Yorkers, and they don't get told what to do. So they kept clapping. And this one was flabbergasted that someone else was aware of that. So those monks are putting in that vibration. So at soul group level, you have the ability to do profound healing and set profound vibrations that go into a high field that affect the collective. When you get in groups of 50, 100, 150, 200 to 25 and 250 people, you begin to affect the human consciousness field. You get into 1,000 and you can do some pretty deep and profound healing. And we told this one, when you get to 5,000 people with the same intention to either clear a layer of the human crystalline grid, the layer we said that was out in the field that can be healed, of the creation of tribes and nations and wars on the earth, you set up a profound energy vibration, you set up a profound layer of gold that is then used down the road for another healing. and you set up an intention vibration for others in meditation. So when they get to the soul group field level, having cleared through their life force, personal level of the higher self, where they start to clear into the universal life field of group soul creations, and there's a stabilizing vibration for them that you will have put there in this healing process. So in your quantum consciousness, which is from the soul through all your creations, and did your soul originate here? Or did your soul arrive here already with lots of information? So your soul has lots of information. And you are creating, at that high level of soul and soul group, new vibrationary, stabilizing forces for others who come along the path of this healing paradigm, which is universal in the human system on Earth. It's a universal in the human system on Earth because it was a universal on our planetary system, as it was a universal on many planetary systems, that there is a pathway out of the pain and the suffering of the lower doses of the creational level have you had as you come into a planet, get enmeshed, you learn, and then you start to go out. And you do that in soul groups at a higher level. And then that's a whole other subject, what happens after that. But we wanted you to have this understanding that there is the ability for profound healing at the soul group level and profound vibrationary setting at the soul group level for those in the future, should you decide to partake in the great global healing party that is starting in January. This is the first time there will be a healing intention with specific healing. There's been intentions for leaving nice vibrations and nurturing Mother Earth and asking for peace on Earth and setting vibrations for that and seeing crime reduced and for seeing intentions like the monks have had. But this is the first calling out for an actual healing of the human consciousness grid. And so we wish you to have an understanding of why this is a profound and benevolent act at the soul group level. And should you hear the call, we hope you partake. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do, and we bid you adieu. Peace be with you. All right, that ends the episode 7 of The Human Potential. Please like, subscribe, comment, and if you can, I will note where the sound healing is in the comment section below for the alignment, and you're welcome to just go jump there and listen to it 2 more times if you like, or an additional 3rd if you never really got into it in this one because you needed to know why. So I hope that you feel peaceful and benevolent with that sound alignment. Thank you.